Alright, in this Studebaker update, we tackled the task of putting in the brake pedal and the gas pedal. For those of you that might be working on your own project, doing something similar, maybe you can get some ideas off of this. Took several different brake pedal assemblies to figure out which one worked best, and even then we had to modify it, as you'll see in this video. And also the transmission tunnel, I wanted it removable, so maybe you guys get some ideas of how to do your own car if you're interested in doing this stuff. But anyways, take a look. And now I'm just rolling some beads in the front toe boards, get a little bit of strength and also a little bit of legs. Not going too deep with this one. Try to keep them all the same depth. Alright, went ahead and got the beads all done and put it back in with Clecos. I'll erase my lines after I get the passenger side done to match this side. And you can see some of the lines out here. So it'll come out pretty good. Alright, here is both front toe boards Clecoed in after having been bead rolled. Went ahead and wiped all the marks off of them. Came out pretty good. Kind of hard to see there. We're working on where the transmission tunnel goes. We're going to make the front part of it removable so we can get to the bolts on the transmission. And these pieces here we just made up. They will, one will sit on the left side, one will sit on the right side like this. This is the right side one. Had to cut a little bit of a taper into it so it goes down into the piece that will go over the front of the tunnel from here around. We're going to have bolts coming through from this side here. No, this side.
Yeah.
I think.
And that's on that side.
Yeah. Alright, so I was confused there. This is the right side, left side one. You can see it's straight on this side, curved on this side. So the bolts will go through here. And then the nuts we're welding on back here. You can notice they're a bigger hole and they're recessed. And then here's the nuts we're going to use. Notched them out, little corner. Sit down in like that. We'll weld them. They'll basically be flush. Grind them off. And that's what we're doing over here. So we've almost got that one welded, and then we'll grind it off and it'll be done. So that's what our little project is for the day. Alright, here's how those pieces are going to fit in the tunnel. They'll be welded on the floor right there. There's the captured nuts we welded on. And it'll bolt through from this side. And we'll line that up a little bit better and weld it in. And tunnel line up that way. And here's the piece for the right side that is not clamped on. Just sit up here like that, then we'll weld it on, and that will be the part just where the transmission tunnel will unbolt, so we can get to all the bolts on the back side of the tranny back up in there and around. And we are working on transmission tunnels. These are 2 rejects. This one here I had a perfect paper pattern. Bent it so that lip would be on the top and it would bolt down to the reinforcement on the firewall, but for some reason just couldn't get it to come around. This was our first attempt at kind of more of a test, just to see what we could do before we tried that piece of wood. That one there looks kind of cool, but obviously nowhere near what we need. So I gave up on making a one-piece front part, and now we're going to have a 2-piece front part. Here's where we got today. We have that tunnel, the back part of the tunnel, which we actually remade again, so we have 2 of those too. And there's the front part of the tunnel. We still have to have a lip come off right here, straight back, and weld to this all the way around so it can bolt to that. and then we have bolts going in the side there. I still have to do quite a bit of wheel work on this. There's some of my markings, but it didn't come out too bad, but not the greatest in the world. So we spent probably 4 or 5 days trying to fit this in there. Can't see it very good in the dark, but we got that lip mostly welded on and ground down. I still got to finish it out right here and put a little bit of a patch piece in it right up there. And it'll be finished on the top part, and then we still have to weld this back piece to it. See, all that lip is welded on now and ground down. And here it is from the underside. That's rusty parts, the part that will weld to the firewall, and then the tunnel will bolt to that. And then I got to do a little bit of shenanigans here. Get this lined up so we can get it welded. I think if I trim down around here, I'll be able to get enough play in it that'll kind of match up better. But we'll see. Alright, we finally got the tranny tunnel pretty much all made. It's one piece here to here, and then we welded this lip on the end. We still got to do a couple little welds where there's some pinholes. Hold it up, I can see the light. This has all been ground down smooth, and then this piece will all be removable. That's why we have it bolted there. And then we're going to have a piece, we just made this 1/4 inch flat stock. It'll go in here. And then we will put a couple bolts in here for this. And then when we make the rest of the tranny tunnel, we will weld the rest of it coming out onto this. So then just the front will be removable. We can get to the bolts on the tranny. That's the main reason why it was removable. Our next step, after we get the tunnel done, we're starting to work on the pedal assemblies. I got this taken apart right now, but brake pedal here will come through the floor. As you can see, it's a wrong angle on the pedal. It'll be facing the floor. So I had another pedal from another project. This happened to be the same pedal. Put it in the mill, machine that down flat, machine that flat. We cut it off, and we cut it. It was like this, so we cut it back. It'll be flat, so when we have it sticking up through the floor, the pedal won't be angled down. It'll be angled flat or up just a little bit. And it'll be sticking through the floorboard around 8.5 inches. So that's this piece here. Hopefully it'll all work. This is our third pedal assembly. We tried hanging 2 different pedal assemblies off of the dash bar for the roll cage. Neither one of them would come down far enough. The pedals would be up like this high, which is not normal. So this way here we can have the pedal up as high as we need it, and we can fully put it on when we pull the body off to weld the roll cage. I ordered an accelerator pedal. We'll find out if it's going to be the right one or not. But that's going to be our next step, is trying to get this stuff fit in. Tack the holes back up in there, pull everything back out. Put my pattern back in there so we know where to cut the hole for the floorboard. And we'll have a boot go around the brake pedal so you won't see a hole in the floor. Alright, we're welding a bracket on here to mount the master cylinders. Got just one master cylinder on here right now, and we're going to have the second one bolted on, and we'll run bolts through this into this bracket we're welding the frame. Will also be tapped into the frame, and then we'll just have to have a bracket on this side, so we don't have to worry about coming clear over here with another bracket. And it should be plenty to hold these from moving when we get the brake pedal in. Alright, got this lightly mounted up here. As you can see, we got spacers on it. Tack welded both sides of that. This is level with the frame. Mount right here. Put another master cylinder here, obviously. This pedal will go through down here, stick up through the floorboard right there, and we'll have our brake pedal. So, we're just going to take and make weld one flat plate right here to the side of the frame with bolts going down through it there. And that'll be all we need to mount the brakes, and then we'll cut a hole in the floor and it should be it. We are currently working on finishing up the brake pedal assembly. We've just about got it all mounted. We got 7-inch long bolts here, and then I put little spacers in between the master cylinders to keep them spaced. I bolted them up to the pedal assembly first, checked our gaps so I could put a solid spacer in there. Ran 7-inch long bolts here through our plate we welded on the other night that we showed you. And then today we welded on a 1/4-inch steel plate to catch the 2 bolts like would be over here. I think we'll have plenty of area to hold it down with these 2 bolts plus 2 on this side. And then it's also welded into this brace here, so there's no way that thing's going anywhere. This is the pedal we're going to end up using on this. This was the original pedal. Come out, you can see it was going to be at the wrong angle because this was designed to mount swinging from up here, so it would have been the right angle, but down here wrong angle, so cut some of that out. This is that pedal I put it on here for checking purposes. Put the seat in, and then this pedal here we'll have welded on about right there, so our foot will be about right, and that's all the way to the floor, which will never realistically happen unless you have a blow-up brake line blowout. So that's how it's going to be sitting when we get done. Then we're getting the accelerator pedal sometime this week. We'll put it in right there, and should have the pedals all done hopefully by the end of this coming week. Kind of took a few things apart on the car. Worked a little bit on getting the firewall lined up a little better where the steering comes out of it, where it is going to, little cup part's going to weld to the firewall and the floorboard. And then the next thing we started working on these front down tubes here. Made up these little brackets. Nothing's welded on right now, it's just sitting there. Made up these little brackets. We're going to weld those to the frame and then weld the tubes to that. Give a little extra support instead of just welding to the frame rails here. Got the proper angles cut up there, so those can be TIG welded on. They will have to be welded on after we get the car back from having everything welded up and the chassis painted, and those will just slide through the holes in the firewall. So that's where we are at today. We are working on the accelerator pedal. We bought this accelerator pedal from Control Cables Incorporated or something like that. That used to be on there. Looked like a pretty good deal, but it's not made to really sit flat. That's this little wedge just sitting under there. This thing did sit clear down there like that, so the highest it would go up is like that, and that's just not going to work. So, put this back off here. Made up a wedge right here. This will, not sure if we're going to weld it yet or bolt it to it. And that will give us the angle we need on the accelerator pedal when it's all the way up. Give us a good height on it. Here's what it looks like from underneath. Zero brakes there. We will have the control cable come down right into there. This here will actuate the cable. Wanted something where the cable doesn't have to go inside the car, so that should work out pretty good. And that is where we are at for now. Alright, well, as you can see, we got a lot of work accomplished in this episode. Doing this kind of work just takes time and patience, and eventually you'll get there. Just don't rush yourself. But anyways, thanks for watching. As always, please like and subscribe.